Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Raygo Reactions. On today's episode, as you can see, we've got more Rush. One of our subscribers by the name of Sean has requested a rare performance by Rush that even some of you guys may have not seen. So stay tuned because, you know, if you're a huge Rush fan and you've been a huge Rush fan for like, let's say 30 years and you're only just seeing new footage, I bet that's a good feeling for you guys as well. I have always loved Guns N' Roses, and I've pretty much seen every footage of them. You know, growing up, loving electric guitar, loving Slash, and just being like, this is cool. So whenever you see something that's like, what the hell? I've never seen this. How have I never seen this? It's always a nice little exciting feeling. So who knows, you might get that today. Now, Sean has requested Half the World. He said this is one of his favourite songs from Test for Echo, and he enjoys the lyrics. So we'll listen to the lyrics. We'll probably try and have a list, search them afterwards to see exactly what the song is about and give you my opinion on what the lyrics are. Because again, lyrics, I think take them however you will. Of course, the songwriter intends to mean them in a specific way, but doesn't mean that's how you have to intend to think of them. Anyway, Half the World in 1997 at Molson Amphitheatre, Toronto. They're in their home country for this one. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, hit the like button, it helps massively. And if you enjoy Rush and this is your first time to this channel, I've been going down the rabbit hole for the past couple months, and there's lots of videos for you to watch, and there's plenty more to come, so hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this. What? The professor wiggling that drumstick. Look how wrong those lyrics are. Quickly, somebody was saying that I think it was Test for Echo, or it may have been another album with Fly By Night on it. Apparently they went into a stage where Geddy's playing a lot more simpler stuff. The album is a lot more simple when it came to Geddy's parts, and also kind of less prog. I don't know what album it is, but you guys said I would prefer it because I'm not massive on progressive rock. This song's not very progressive either. Was it in the 90s or the 80s this happened? Forgive me. There's so much music by Rush, I don't know, but I could have sworn I read something about they had an album in the 90s where it's not as proggy, and I would prefer it. Or it could have been the 80s, because these guys have been going in the 70s, haven't they? But I don't know what it is, but this to me is there's definitely a few songs I've heard by Rush now where it's not very proggy. It's more to my flavour, I will say. And as a question, I wanted to ask you guys. Let me know in the comments if you prefer Rush more as progressive as it gets, or Rush as least progressive. Let me know, because I want to see how many people prefer the prog stuff as opposed to their more classic, let's call it their classic side. Because I know there's a lot of prog people watching, and I'm kind of on the fence, because I think the reason I like Rush is because I'm not a massive fan of prog, but I enjoy watching them do it. You know, it comes back to that thing I say, some music I like to listen to, some of it I like to watch. And I think I enjoy their progressive side to watch, but where I'm in the car, I'll stick on, like, you know, Time Stand Still and whatnot, because it's the less proggy thing. It's weird, but I kind of do like it when I watch them do progressive stuff, because it looks cool to watch. It's just insane what they do. This is a nice song though. Yo! I know it's typical, but how does he manage to catch it every time? Look at that. Hey! Lyric. Half the world tries to be the other half. Half the world tries to be the other half. That's a cracking lyric. Simple. Again, that song would sound good on an acoustic stripped back. When Geddy was going, that's medieval stuff right there, guys. I know it might not seem it, but it is. It's got some like Gaelic. Picture of medieval. Very nice. Simple again. D to that A is the majority of the song. But I want to go more into them lyrics and what's going on there, because it's a bit different that for Rush. Usually they have very complicated and long form sentences, whereas this is everything started with half the world. Let's get them up and see what it's saying. There's usually, where's that website that I like? It's a cool website. It's not that. But I do suggest people song meanings. Oh, actually, I think it's this. Yeah, it is this. This is a cool website. So, like, no one knows about it. But it gives the people's opinions on what they think it's about. But before I read them, I like to give my own. Half the world hates, half the world... I mean, it's quite self-explanatory, the song in general. But it's also... You can think of it however you want. Half the world hates, half the world does every day. Half the world waits while half gets on with it anyway. That's a good lyric. You could sit around moaning all day, or you could just get on with it. The amount of time people spend moaning instead of just getting on with it, and then they find themselves not as far as a person who doesn't moan and gets on with it. If you was to put it on a year timeline, the person who moans every day, oh, I can't bother doing this. Oh, I don't want to go there. Why does that have to happen? The other person who's just cracking on will just get further. Half the world lives, half the world makes, half the world gives, while the other half takes. It's good. It's again simple, but this is very. I like it. Half the world is, half the world was. Dude, half the world thinks, while the other half does. Huh? Half the world. That's okay, mate. These lyrics are sick. These actually are sick. Half the world is, half the world was. So that's like you're dead, and now you're alive. You're gonna be both. So that's cool. That's the way I'm interpreting it. Half the world thinks while the other half does. Again, that's going back to that. Half the world waits while the other half gets on with it. It's the same way you're basically wording it, but it's the same thing, but you're wording it differently. Half the world thinks. You can think about doing something. Maybe we will go there next weekend. Maybe I will fix the cupboard in the shed that needs to be done. While the other half is just doing it. Just get on with it, mate. Because you will find yourself way further in life, and I always remember, I don't know who it was who said it, but obviously everyone's got dreams. Some people can be negative towards other people's dreams. I do want to be a musician. I want to be a full-time music. That's all I want to do, whether it's doing this as well, doing gigs, all this music. I want to make my 9 to 5, and people can go, it's not happening, mate. It's not happening. But I bet you this much, and this is a quote, I'm paraphrasing, but it said something like, even if you strive every day to get to go towards your dream, and you work harder than everyone else around you, no matter what happens, even if you don't accomplish your dream, you will find yourself in a way better position than the majority. And it's because you're constantly trying. If you're trying, there's no way you can get worse or off. You're only going to chip away. Maybe I won't get up here, but I might get there. And that is still a good place to be in. So that's the way I think of these lyrics. Half the world lies, half the world learns. Half the world flies as the other world turns. Hold on a sec. Half the world lies, half the world learns. Half the world flies as half the world turns. I don't know what that means. Let me know in the comments. Half the world cries, half the world laughs, half the world tries to be the other half. But you guys say half. Half the world cries, half the world laughs, half the world tries to be the other half. We wouldn't say that in English. You go, half the world laughs, half the world tries to be the other half, and then it just wouldn't rhyme. Well, you gotta try and make it rhyme, sucker. Half of us divided like a torn up photograph. Half of us trying to reach the other half. Mate, that's pretty good, like a torn up photograph. Mate, half the world cares while half the world is wasting the day. Yeah. Half the world shares while half the world is stealing away. I like it. They're some of my favourite lyrics by Rush so far. It seems more defo metaphorical, and it's simple but very effective. It makes you just think, yeah, you know what? I want to be the positive half, not the negative. I don't want to be the person who's constantly taking. I want to be able to give. I don't want to be the person who's complaining. I want to be the person who's getting on with it. Don't want to lie. I want to learn. But it's up to you to ultimately make that decision, isn't it? Cracking lyrics. I like that song. Not very progressive. That was a good one. Again, that's for the car for me, that. It's for the car. Not the best song in the world. But it was good. It was good. Would I? In fact, when I say it's for the car, what I mean is it's not something I would watch. It's something I would rather listen to. But I wouldn't listen to it. I'm being brutally honest. That's not one of my favourite songs by them. There's a few songs by Rush now that are absolutely cracking. I like Tom Sawyer, I've got to say. I listen to it, and I know people say it's typical or whatnot, but it's a tune, let's be honest, it really is. I like Spirit Radio, I've always said that, Time Stand Still. And there's a couple others, but I've reacted to, but you wouldn't have seen yet, so I don't want to spoil it. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button. And as always, guys, if you want to request a song of your choice, you can do that. As seen on screen right here, in the bottom right, all the other information is in the description below. Hope you're all having a cracking day. Thank you for watching Raygo Reactions. Until next time, peace out.
Blue, Raygo blue, Raygo blue, yeah, Raygo blue.
Welcome to my Patreon. I thought today we'd react to let's do some exclusive stuff, you know what I mean, for you little legends only. I want you guys to tell me if this song sucks. If it does, it's gone forever.
Joe's seen something he likes. Call it the old
like
squatting up bosh.